I'm Danny Black.
And I'm John Newman.
Welcome to Cardmensches.
Experience, quality, consistency, and the quickest turnaround times in the grading industry? We are proud to partner with SGC Grading. Check them out at www.gosgc.com.
Hi, I'm Danny Black.
And I'm John Newman.
Welcome to Cardmensches. Well, I took a running start there to get started. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Good. It's an episode of Who Done It.
It is. It is Cardmensches, episode 40, and it's Who Done It, and guess who done it? I did it.
It's a double intro night, apparently, as Ruben just pointed out.
Yep. I'm fessing up. How's your hobby week been? I feel like we haven't. It's been 2 weeks. It's been too long.
Yeah, episode 40, man. That's crazy when you think about that. These shows are every other week. Like 40 episodes in once a week is almost a year. This is almost like 2 years. 52 episodes will be 2 years if my math is right. But yeah, we're gonna have a little fun today, and there's gonna be card stuff in here as well. So it's not all just personal stuff.
I don't think anybody knows what we've done yet.
Yeah, there's a few things in here. I know I'm a pretty open book, but there's a few things in here that I've never revealed before today. So there's a little tease.
Oh, I see John is like a candle in the wind tonight. Yes.
I went to the farewell tour last year at the Carrier Dome.
They said farewell. They said farewell, John.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Sir John.
Yeah, that was a great show.
I saw him and Billy Joel together when they toured together.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that show too.
That was cool.
That wasn't great. I'm not gonna lie.
The one I saw was fantastic.
Yeah, that wasn't my favorite Billy Joel show, but I will say this: the Elton John alone was better than the duel with Billy. It's tough when you get two big names trying to share the same show. It's not always easy to pull off.
Yet here we are doing it once again for episode 40. So let's explain what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're playing a game of Who Done It, and Who Done It means that we're going to put a topic on the screen, and it's a fun fact. It's a fun fact like you would find on the back of a baseball card. And the idea is, on the fun fact, is it a fun fact about John? Is it a fun fact about me? Or is it a fun fact from a real baseball card? Most importantly, I definitely want you guys to comment and throw in your own favorite back of baseball card stories from real baseball cards. So if you can throw out the card and throw out what the fun fact is, definitely I'm reading Ruben. Definitely throw it in the chat room. I love the back of baseball card fun facts. That's what prompted tonight.
I like Ruben, but the comment, like, listen, I don't think
anyone's a little anti-Billy there.
Yeah, listen, Billy Joel is I understand he's not like Mr. America, like looks wise, but talent wise, the guy's an exceptional musician and songwriter. So you want to call him ugly, but a great songwriter and musician, I'll sign up for that. But not little talent, man. There's no way.
I love fun facts. So do I. So let's get started with one, and I put one at the beginning to try to kind of give us an idea of what we're up against tonight. So to give it, and once again, I'm going to give a fun fact. You got to guess if this is a Danny fact, a John fact, or the back of a baseball card fact. Here's the first one we're going to use. So the member of a high school ski team, does that sound like one of us? Or the back of a baseball card? And everything's been phrased in a way to try to keep it equal. We're off to a flying start here, I got to tell you.
Much like I am out of the gate.
Danny
of
Fett.
high school ski.
That's Ruben's guess. And I'm gonna pull up a little.
Well, listen, I'm not saying it's me or it isn't me, but I did go to high school in Syracuse, New York. I know I'm from New York City, and then I went back to New York City after high school. Warren picked me.
Back a card from Vintage Goods.
All right. Well, somebody's right because we got all three picked.
And the winner, back a card, Mark Ciardi on the. It is an 88 tops back of the card. He was a member of the 1979 Piscataway High School Ski Club. So
you gotta get one of them jackets. Piscataway High School Ski Team.
So that's how you play. So we're gonna throw it out there. Some of these are a little personal.
Listen,
some of these are more fun. And,
I love Warren. I appreciate that he thinks highly of me, but you do not want me on a mountain skiing. I'm going to kill myself or take other people with me. So no, it wasn't me. Never. I'm not only was I not on a high school ski team, I've never even went one time.
I hurt my knee when I was younger. I've never been skiing either. So
there you go.
There you go. All right. Next one. Now, the question is here.
Too shy to ask to go to the restroom as a child.
Warren says, laugh his ass off, John.
The vintage has Danny.
Vintage has Danny.
Oh, we got two Dannys.
Warren. I think, Warren, you've got two guesses in here.
Did he hedge his bets?
Right. Nobody's guessing the back of a baseball card on this one. Wow, I'm getting a lot of guesses here. I've never been called shy before.
Yeah, I don't think you'd see. Listen, I think we can eliminate the back of a baseball card. I don't think that one would be, and I don't think that the subject would want it to be, even if it was the case.
Warren says, I answered that almost too fast. All right. And the winner? John.
Yeah, man. I was a shy kid. People don't believe me when I tell them that now because they see this version. I was a super shy kid, man. As a young child, I'd hide behind my grandparents if I was introduced to someone, and I was scared to ask the teacher to go to the restroom. Thankfully, I lived across the street from the school, PS 132 in Brooklyn, New York. So when I was picked up from school, I literally made a beeline across the street, ran into my house, and for holding it all day. That's a true story. You know, I'm an open book for the most part. I had one accident in school in kindergarten, waiting in line to go to the lunchroom. And it was embarrassing. And here we are, you know, I was 5 years old and I'm 51. So 46 years later, I remember that day as if it happened yesterday. Thankfully, I got over that shyness as a younger, adult. And, here we are today. There's probably a few people, Danny, wishing I was more shy, but I'm not so anymore.
And Warren, you can't get in trouble with anybody in this room.
Yeah, no one's going to take anything personal. Listen, I just told you I peed in the kindergarten class. I don't know, what else there is after that. That's,
All right.
We had a feeling. That one would throw people off, which is why it made it.
I got to work on my reputation, clearly. All right. Face John Franco. Major leagues. Did it make the back of a baseball card? I played high school all-star baseball. I played at a league above high school. We traveled around. I played some older players. John An accomplished youth player.
I'm still playing softball. It wasn't. I didn't face anybody.
Not as much.
And maybe it's just a guy named John Franco. Maybe not the John.
Ruben says back of a card. Any other guesses? Danny, I think that wouldn't be on the back of a card.
Yeah, because John Franco faced a lot of batters, and a lot of people faced John Franco.
Warren says back of a card. Welcome, Hodges. Welcome. All right. Shall we reveal it? You want to tell the story?
Yeah, I'll do the Cliff Notes version. This is me. This is Brooklyn. John Franco's from Brooklyn, like me. And I was probably 15 at the time, 14, 15, playing pickup ball in the park with about 7 friends of mine. A car pulls up along the curb, and out steps John Franco. And I recognized him instantly, being a Brooklyn native. About half of us, I think, did, half of the kids. Another gentleman gets out of the car with him, and he says, "Hey, guys, I could throw you some batting practice." And the 3 or 4 of us that knew who he was were like, "Holy crap, yeah." And the other 3 are like, "Who is this guy?" That we fill those guys in kind of on the down low, like John Franco, reliever for the Mets. So he threw some batting practice. Well, the first thing we said was like, "Who's going to catch? Who's going to catch you?"
Just to be clear, you just want to clarify that you're not as old as John Franco.
No, he's older than me.
Yeah.
Probably by 12 years, I'm guessing, without officially knowing.
That's why you're telling the little kid's story. I know.
Yeah. So we asked, we said, "Who's going to catch you?" And the guy that got out of the car with him, whose name escapes me, you can be looked up, was his catcher at St. John's, where he played his college ball. So he was hanging out with his buddy, who was his catcher at college baseball, and he had some just minimal gear in the trunk. So he ran and got that, put it on, and he was just throwing batting practice, like your coach would. And when it was my turn to bat, I said to him, I said, "Mr. Franco, I know I'm going to swing and miss sometimes, but can you kind of throw like not batting practice?" He goes, "Yeah, if you want to." And he did, and I swung and missed some, and I hit some pretty good too. So I was not a bad ball player. So yes, that was I got the bat against John Franco, moment, which is pretty cool. I'm surprised more. I did talk about that on the show, I believe, once. So
yeah, not everybody takes notes.
Pretty cool moment.
Very cool. All right, this is one of my favorite ones. I'm going to put up 2 back to back, and you can pretty much tell these aren't off of baseball cards. So I'll tell you right now, you got to decide which one sounds like one of us and which one sounds like the other one of us. The first one is one of us drank hot sauce from 100 wings, and this was drained into a cup for a $40 bet. And one of us participated in a wing eating contest for charity.
I take either one of these, man. These I can't go wrong. These are both right up my alley. So
there you go.
That's all I'll say.
Cliff Morello was Franco's catcher.
There you go. That's who it was then, because he said his name. I think he just said, "This is my buddy Cliff." So,
John on the bet. Ruben says Danny on the bet, and the charity to John.
Just like would the real person stand up? We should almost do.
This is Orlando says John took the bet. Wings Danny, John hot sauce. This is pretty much split even. I'm a little surprised. Ruben says he went with the hot sauce because I described it in detail like you were there. Yep. Do you want to tell your story first, or should I tell mine?
Yeah, it's real quick. So, this is not recent. I've played softball since my hardball career ended, and so we were sponsored by a bar. So after the game, we go to the bar and get a couple free pitchers and order some food. And so there was probably eight of us, and we ordered a tray of 100 hot wings. All right, so they brought out this tray of 100 hot wings. We each had plates, and we just, ate our share of wings. And those 100 wings were gone. And we had another tray for all the bones, and all that was left was that original tray, and all the hot sauce was on the bottom. And everyone knows I like spicy and hot stuff. And one of my teammates says, Newman, how much to drink what's left, like the drippings of the 100 wings? And I'm like, how much you want to pay me? And they're like, $40. I'm like, pour it in a glass. So they literally lifted the tray, poured it into a glass. It was about a glass like that. And I just housed that thing, and I was $40 richer. I paid for it later. Truth, to put the bow tie on the store, but I had $40.
We're no longer too shy to ask, which is the important thing.
So I had $40. And I love hot sauce, man. Would have I done that under normal conditions? No, but for $40, I did it that day. So now that leaves you with the charity. What?
Well, how much money would it take you now to do that?
Yeah, probably more. I'm a little older and smarter, I like to think. That was my younger and dumber, like, all right, put your money where your mouth is days, And I don't even think I did it for the $40, Danny. I think I just did it it's almost like a dare. There was just money attached to the dare. So
I got two boys, and I'll say boys are stupid. Get older. Nothing really changes.
Could I do it? Could I do it today? Because I had hot wings for lunch today. I could do it.
100 of them in hot sauce.
10 of them. Well, the sauce was hot on the wings, and there was sauce in the the to-go container it was in. I didn't drink it, but it was in there.
I forget what year, and somebody can look it up, that John Candy passed away, the comedian. And so in honor of John Candy, we raised money for health care for those less fortunate. And we raised money by getting sponsored with a local wing shop. And we rented out the place, and we had a wing eating contest. And I did not win ultimately, but I did participate and raise some money. And it was for a good cause. And I will say it was no fun the next day either. I ate a healthy amount.
Was it timed? Like you had like 20 minutes to eat it? Was it like that?
That's exactly what it was. I think if we had half an hour or something.
I wish I knew you then. I would have entered and been one of the favorites. I'm not going to claim victory.
The restaurant
would have been a contender.
The restaurant gave away a gift card to the winner. It was a real prize.
Yeah, there you go. I might have won that.
Here we go. Just mix it with Crown Candy, and we're all good. Crown Canadian. What is that?
Yeah. I think that's right. I think Crown Royal, but yeah, I'm drinking that tonight with some black cherry soda. So we're good.
All right, ready for the next one?
A real wing ding. I like that. I'm ready. I don't know if anyone else is ready, but
two sons, Brian and Brett. Now, we've both talked about our families.
Yeah.
We both have male offspring.
It's true. I like that offspring. What are we, like in the safari? We're like jungle animals?
All right. So is this baseball card fact, John fact, or Danny fact? Warren. This is John.
I like that.
Orlando's guessing me. Warren's just embarrassed. Right, I'm Danny, not Brian, but we're good. This is the back of 87 Topps Floyd Bannister. Floyd Bannister wears uniform number 19 with the White Sox. His number is a collegian at Arizona State University. He and his wife are parents of 2 sons, Brian and Brett. So actually, Floyd Bannister is the answer. And who would? That's why I love fun facts on the back of baseball cards.
I'm surprised I got a couple, at least one vote. I have one son. His name is Jordan, and he's 24. So, when someone guessed me, I'm like, oh man, what? I must have blacked out that night.
Well, let's be fair. You have one you know about. All right.
Hot sauce makes you do crazy stuff.
I do have 2 boys, twins. I talk about them all the time, Zach and Connor. And the only reason I'll say their names is if you go to a card show, you'll meet Connor without a doubt. So, okay, this is one of my favorite ones of the night. Born at home, not in a hospital. Is this from the back of a baseball card? Or is this from John's life? Or is this from my life? And I think this is great because you got to take into consideration a lot of factors here. Back of a card. All right. I'm trying. Back of a card, Stan Musial.
Ooh, he named the player.
Does it say it on the back of the card?
Like Ruben said, not only am I going to guess back a card, but tell you whose card it was. Orlando said you.
Yep. John, it just fits. LOL. I don't know what it means to fit that you were born in not a hospital.
If it's true, we don't even no one knows if it's true or not.
Hello. If I win, all credit goes to Ruben. What's up, Jason?
I like her.
John was too big, had to go to a hospital.
Believe it or not, I was not a big baby. I think I was 6 pounds, 8 ounces. Don't quote me, but somewhere in that vicinity. Which I don't believe is a big baby.
No,
I am a big baby, but I wasn't a big baby as a baby.
Ruben says, I'm sure it was John's. John was a 12-pound baby and his mother wanted him out in a hospital.
Nope, 6 pounds, 8. It would make sense. I get it. I see the correlation.
See, if I'm playing,
I was a normal sized baby who then got mutant sized later.
See, I think this is the back of a baseball card if I'm playing at home. I know the answer, obviously, but this is the stuff, the fun facts that I love. But you want to share the real answer here, John?
Yeah, this is me. I was born in a house in Brooklyn. My dad was at work. My mother literally had me at home. This is obviously before cell phone days. My dad came home from work, walks in the house, and there's my mom holding baby John Newman. Probably didn't have a name yet officially. And then I was taken with my mom to someone from New York City might recognize this hospital name, Maimonides Hospital in Brooklyn. So I was born at home, and I said that wrong. It's still in existence, Maimonides, and got the cord cut there, but was born at home. So pretty funny. I don't want to say funny, but pretty unique kind of story when it comes up.
All right. Here's one, and I was surprised. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, should I? Warren's going to take his bow for his win.
Yeah, that's a tough.
So
I get the rationale. Like John had to be a big baby. That's not possible. I get it.
It makes sense that it would be you. Nobody thought I was born at home. Okay, good guess. Rocky Colavito, definitely nickname Rocky.
I'm just going to throw in here that as a younger kid, I was, I guess you call it an amateur boxer.
Yep. I think you're being generous. All right, if that's the only guess. You want to tell about your amateur boxing career?
It was very short-lived. It was really by accident. My stepbrother he built this ring in the backyard, this makeshift ring, and it wasn't actually too bad for being amateurly put together. And my dad was an amateur boxer, and he taught me how to box. My stepbrother was not a boxer, but liked to watch me box. So he would go and tell other kids my age that I said this and that about him, and then they'd show up, and I would tell them, like, I didn't say that. My brother just wants to see us fight. I'm telling you, I didn't say it. Sometimes that worked, and they'd be like, okay, whatever. And other times they're like, no, I don't believe you. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? And then that ring was used. But that's not me. I never had it. I had a dog named Rocky at the time, a little black pug back in the day. His name was Rocky. Not me, though.
And I just put it in the chat. That's still in the back of the 1974 Mike Tyson card, ironically enough. The former player that I had not heard of.
I know. I remember him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he was from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So.
Which is funny. His name is Mike Tyson.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Mike Tyson. Well, I guess he is the Mike Tyson, just not the Mike Tyson most people are familiar with.
Not the one you would expect to be called Rocky.
Yeah. And his nickname was Rocky. Come on, man. How do you make this stuff up? You can't.
That's why I was sure everybody was going to guess you on that one. Nope, not one person on here thought my name was Rocky. Y'all thought I cried because I couldn't pee, but you didn't think my name was Rocky.
Are you sorry you came up with this concept?
I don't think I'm liking this anymore. Okay, move on to the next one. Played competitive tennis as a kid. There you go. You look just like Andre Agassi.
I'm a John McEnroe guy.
Are you?
Seriously, you can't be serious.
I like McEnroe.
Love Johnny Mac.
Orlando's guessing me. Warren's guessing me. My nickname was definitely not the Fonz.
Henry Winkler. Your nickname was maybe Henry.
Right. Back a card. It's definitely a back a card type of stat. Danny definitely has tennis vibes. John, it's bourbon time.
I'm already doing it. I'm away headed. But thank you for reminding me just in case, Warren.
All right. I played USTA competitive tennis when I was a child. I played until I got my ass kicked 6-love by the number 1 seeded player. And his coach told him that he had to go to practice because his match against me did not even count as practice for the day. And then I immediately quit competitive tennis. So I did play tournament tennis as a kid.
So while you were hitting tennis balls, I was boxing people in a makeshift ring in my backyard. And here we are all these years later. Who would have thunk it?
Danny doesn't seem like a really competitive sports person. Tennis does fit. I'm getting killed. Orlando says nice story.
What is this? The roast after Tom Brady's?
I'm telling you. Oh, wow. Orlando, I hope you're not being sarcastic. My ego can't take anymore. That's too funny. All right, let's move on. I'm going to keep this interesting. And I phrased this very specifically. At spring training, Ron Guidry no-hitter. So it was a player that was at, or John, or me. Wow. Danny seems like a back of the booger kid. I'll put it up. I'll take it. Not true at all. So you have to have real confidence to put that up there. John on the Ron Guidry no-hitter. Well, here, I'm going to put up another one. So one of us...
Well,
never been to spring training. It wouldn't be a baseball player. Well, I guess it could be, but it's not. So never been to spring training is one of us. At spring training, either a player or one of us saw Ron Guidry throw a no-hitter. Saying Danny, same year he went to his first game in 83. He's confident all booger kids don't think that they're booger kids. Wow. It's like Keating got a new handle. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Jeremy.
Danny's never been. Danny has never been to spring training. Danny has family all over Florida. Orlando, you and I have talked about this. And the Orioles used to be right down in Lauderdale, and now they're in Sarasota. My brother's been, my father's been, all my friends have been, but I've never been. John, however, you have been.
To where?
Spring training.
Spring training. I have.
And what happened when you went with Ron Guidry?
So I saw Rubens pick the year 1983. That's the year this happened. So it's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the Yankees spring training was in 1983. Ron Guidry started the game. Now, back in much like today's spring training, starting pitchers would go 3 innings. The next guy comes in, pitches an inning, 2 innings. You use about 4 to 5, 6 pitchers, right, to complete the 9-inning game. Well, Ron Guidry throws 3 innings. He was just lights out, like just striking out. It was versus the Pirates. I remember even the teams. It was Yankees versus Pirates. He was lights out. Didn't give up a hit, obviously. And here he comes out for the 4th inning. Cruises through that. His pitch count was very low, very economical. He comes out in the 5th inning. And even as an 11-year-old kid at the time, I was in Florida visiting my family. I wound up moving there for a couple of years, which is where the whole Veritech stuff comes in. But he kept coming out. And even me as an 11-year-old kid knew this was sort of odd. Like normally they pull you. Like it's spring training. No one cares about a spring training no-hitter. And he just kept coming out. So I don't know what happened in the dugout. Was he like refusing to come out until he gave up a hit? Well, he never gave up a hit. He kept coming out. He comes out in the top of the 9th inning, strikes out the first guy, and the next 2 guys ground out. It wasn't like a big, like you'd see a no-hitter now where they jump in the catcher's arm and the whole team. But there was a little, people came to the mound and shook hands. It was on the scoreboard, 0-0-0 for the Pirates. And I don't have an explanation for it as an 11-year-old kid who witnessed it. But Ron Guidry threw a 9-inning spring training no-hitter. I don't know why he stayed in the game. Maybe he just told the manager, like, I'll come out, skip when I give up my first hit.
He was pretty established by then. I mean,
yeah, and he again, his pitch count was very economical, wasn't it? He didn't, I think he did walk a guy, otherwise it'd be a perfect game. But maybe one guy, but no, obviously no hits. And so he definitely was under 100 pitches, for sure, if you ask me. But pretty rare. I don't know if it's the only one ever in spring. Well, I'm sure there's been spring training no hitters, but like combined with 3 or 4 pitchers. But I've never seen someone just keep coming out and pitching the whole game. So
it would never happen today.
Yeah, it definitely stuck with me because it was such an oddity, even for an 11-year-old kid who isn't as knowledgeable as I am today when it comes to baseball stuff.
Guidry could shove. Louisiana Lightning?
He was lefty. He's hard throwing through a heavy fastball. And it was kind of a weird day.
That's cool though. I got to get to spring training, even if it's not for a no-hitter. Obviously.
Yeah. Well, now you're not going to see a guy like that.
You'll never see it.
Yeah, there's 2. They just use a plethora of pitchers to get them work done. So I'd love to know. I'm going to have to research this. I'd love to know the backstory of how he's got to stay in the game.
Yeah, who was the manager?
You'd have to look it up. I'm trying to remember who's.
I don't know if it was one of Billy's trips or not.
I don't think Billy Martin was a manager in '83. Someone looked that up.
Yeah, right. Okay, you ready to move to the next one?
Yeah, I am. I don't know.
Definitely could be John.
Yeah, we both were in Florida at different points. Yep.
Could be me, and certainly could be a card. Could be a player. Vincent says Billy Martin.
It was Martin.
And guessing me on the first Marlins series. Orlando, I wonder if you were down there then.
Yeah, Billy Martin. I don't know how he pulled that off. Billy Martin, pretty stubborn guy. Maybe Billy Martin was mad at him. Maybe it was the reverse of what we're thinking. Maybe Guidry wanted to come out, and he was in Martin's doghouse. He's like, no, go keep pitching. You got a no-hitter. Just threw him out there. I'd love to know the backstory there. I to this day, 41 years later, I don't know what that was about.
Oh, Mookie coming in strong. 5-4 split now.
Yeah, was that a different one?
I don't know. Danny, were you working for them? No, I did not work for the Marlins. We all missed you, Mookie. This was me, however. I have family in Miami. I was lucky enough to get tickets and go to that series. Very weird back then. The Florida Marlins and the old ugly teal uniforms, but I still got some of the gear packed away. And those were some crazy teams. That was Charlie Huff, if you don't remember. Was one of the starters on the team. I think it was Preston Wilson.
Former Met Preston Wilson.
Pick in the expansion draft.
I think he was, or he was high pick in the expansion.
Yeah, no,
former Met.
Yep. So, anyway, so yes, I was at the first Marlins series. Yep, it was Joe Robbie back then. Well, I believe. Danny had to be a sophomore in college during that series. I'm not sure what year was that.
Yeah, the Piazza deal. Right. Piazza was like in Miami for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, just long enough to change planes. Yep, Joe Robbie. Exactly. Charlie Huff was the best pitcher we had. Absolutely. And he was old then. He was about 130.
Like 40 something. Year.
93. Okay. No, I was not a sophomore in college.
No, I could have been. I was 21, but it wasn't me.
All right. So, little Marlins love there. Let's get a quick one out of the way. Met Charlie Huff once. That's cool. Wonder if he was a nice guy. Here's a quick one. Let's bang this one out quickly. This sounds like.
This is definitely not a back of a baseball card. So it's one of us.
I think we have the answer. It was John.
Yeah, I probably told this story on more than one occasion on my show. So he came to Syracuse on a rehab assignment with the Columbus Clippers, who at the time he was with the Yankees. So I went to the game in Syracuse. I waited for him after the game. I had a ball. I waited. I was probably 15, 16. I waited for him after the game. He didn't come out right away. Like, waited, delayed. Everyone left. I was the last kid there with my dad. And my dad's like, come on, he's not coming out. Let's go, And I said, no, I got it. So he comes out, but he like runs onto the bus, like to not sign an auto. So he runs onto the bus. So we go to the car and I'm like, follow the bus. I'll catch him at the hotel. So we follow the bus to the Comfort Inn, which is funny. It's not the Comfort Inn, but it's a hotel that I can see from my window now. I didn't live here then, but it's right over here. It's the Ramada now, but it was the Comfort Inn then. We follow the bus. I get out, and the players are getting out. I'm really not interested in the rest of I just want to meet and have Deion Sanders sign this baseball. And he doesn't come off right away. It's like he's, just delays. But then he comes off. So it's just him. Everyone's already went into the Comfort Inn. And I'm like right there. And now there's no gate or no, barriers. And I'm like, Deion, can you sign one? And he waves like he's in front of me, but he waves me to like follow him into this hotel. So I'm following him in. I'm probably like 4 or 5 feet behind him. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, we'll just sign the ball, and then I won't bug you. And so he waves me in. The elevator door opens. He gets in. He waves me in the elevator. I get it. So here I'm on the elevator with Deion. And he says to me, I'll sign your ball, kid. You got to answer one question for me. And I'm like, sure, Deion, what is it? And this was a time period when him and Bo Jackson were going back and forth in the media about who was the best, multi-sport athlete. The Bo commercials, Deion had endorsements. And obviously I kind of thought Bo, but I'm not, I'm on an elevator. It's just me and Deion. Like, he could probably make me disappear at this point. So he says to me, who's the better two-sport athlete, me or Bo Jackson? So there was a little bit of a pause, and I'm like, it's you, Deion. So he takes the ball. Meanwhile, the elevator's going up to like the 3rd floor. He signs it on the sweet spot. His S is a $sign, so it's Deion Sanders.
Absolutely.
And the door opens. He's going to get out to go to his room. And he's like, hey, kid, you got to go back down, but have a good day. So I went back down with my Deion Sanders autograph ball, which is, I should have took it out, but I still have it. 37 years later, it's in this case right here somewhere. So there you go. Deion Sanders and me on an elevator.
All right. I'm glad we knocked that one out quickly.
When I saw that one, I'm like, I think a few people are going to get that because I've told that story.
That was a layup.
Yeah, that was sort of. If we had a layup tonight, I think that was the one.
Well, this one I found entertaining. Attended the Red Wings Stanley Cup clinching game. Don't have a year on this, but this is off the back of a baseball card, or it's from John, or it's from me. Back of card. You're a big hockey fan, actually.
Yeah, I love the New York Rangers. I'm still disappointed from
I
the
thought you were chalk on this one. And I live in Baltimore where there's no hockey team.
Yeah.
But I went to see the Washington Capitals play in the Stanley Cup Finals when I was younger. And the Detroit Red Wings clinched on Washington's home ice. So I've yeah. No. It was the Red Wings against the Caps, and I wouldn't go to Pittsburgh. John and an octopus.
Yeah, VJ's like, listen, you deep fry that with some breading. I like octopus.
Well, now you can put Old Bay on it.
Oh, I'm hungry again, and I eat dinner already.
See, that's a good one. So,
Old Bay octopus.
All right, this one. If you know us, this one should be an easy one. So on the back of a baseball card, is there a player who enjoys listening to hard rock music? Do I enjoy listening to hard rock music? Or does John enjoy listening to hard rock music? Not a lot of booger eaters listen to hard rock music. Danny. Wow. I give off an interesting.
What's throwing this up? My Elton John shirt?
John's a Billy Joel guy.
I like a lot of different types of music, though. I am a Billy Joel guy.
John, he rocks out to Kiss Zeppelin.
Kiss is from Brooklyn, New York.
I can do some.
I gotta throw that in. My hometown, Kiss is from Brooklyn, New York. They're not my favorite band, but I'm fond of them.
All right, and just because I want to quote this correctly, this is Zane Smith, his 87 Topps card. So this is Zane Smith. Zane enjoys listening to hard rock music. That is the entire fun fact on the back of the card. So former pitcher, Braves, and some other teams. Pirates, right?
Why? Like, is that the most interesting thing they could come up with for Zane Smith? Like, I feel bad that's not that he's a hard rock fan. Heck, I am too. But, I know. I'm more of a Gene Simmons guy. And I won't wear those platform shoes. There it is. You actually have the card.
I actually have a picture on my phone, but
this could have been me because I do like hard rock music, but you got it from
this.
Yeah, he did.
That's
probably why I know him so well. That he just played the best against. Wasn't a great pitcher, but was a great pitcher whenever
you could say he was the Chipper Jones of pitchers.
Yeah, I guess.
There you go. I just like picking on the Mets, really.
Well, it's easy to do right now.
It's been easy to do for 30 years.
No, we got a couple World Series, appearances and win in there.
Real quick, fun fact: John was the fourth Beastie Boy until he got kicked out because he did not obtain the license to ill.
I do joke that I was the fourth Beastie Boys.
All right. Worked at a pizza shop in high school. Shop was burned by an arsonist. Is that the fun fact on the back of a baseball card? Is that something that happened in my life or something that happened to John in his life? John, the early.
There we got Danny.
Appreciate it, Heavy J. When you think of arson, I want you to think of me. Ruben. Arson totally seems like a Baltimore.
Is that? I think he watched The Wire too much.
You got to finish that, by the way.
I know. I can't. What is it on? I probably don't get it. Is it like Netflix?
HBO Max.
No, our HBO deal is over. So, is it on YouTube?
I'm sure.
All right, I'll have to watch it on YouTube.
Guys, John's never seen The Wire. John would have gone in to save the Sicilian.
No, that's my favorite pizza. I'm more of an original, thin crust guy. But listen, if you see me, there isn't much pizza I've met that I don't like. So Sicilian's fine too.
All right.
And my parents are from, my mother's family is from Sicily.
You want to tell the story?
Yeah. So, after I went to high school here in Syracuse, but after high school was over, I'd go back to New York City and work for a couple months and live there, and then come back when school started again. So I worked in a pizzeria. I won't mention the name. It doesn't exist now. Anyway, it was owned by a guy.
Just don't ask for a well done.
Yeah. It was owned by a guy, a legitimate Italian guy from Italy, spoke very broken English, very hard to understand unless you spoke either a little Italian or really concentrated on what he was saying. But I worked for him and got the gig. No, it was not a famous place. It was not a franchise, just this guy owned it. And he called me up one day. And he said, "John, you have to mollow off." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I won't say his name. "I'm on the schedule for tomorrow." He goes, "No, you have day off. Don't come in." So I didn't he didn't say why, what was going on. So the next day, my friend calls me up on the phone. "Hey, don't you work at such and such pizzeria?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, I just drove by it. It's like going up in flames." And I'm like, "What?"
I don't mean to laugh.
No. So it was walking distance from my house. So I started walking that way. And then, they had the police, the tape up, and it was on fire. And I'll make this story as short as I can. The next week, two guys in suits were at my door, asked my name and if I had been an employee at this pizzeria. I said yes. They were FBI agents. They took me in their car to their headquarters or their building, and I had to answer some questions. And one of them was my contact in the days leading up to the fire. And I told them, like, the day before, so and so called me, told me don't come to work the next day. Didn't say why. I asked, like, what's going on? Said, no, you have day off. And really it was only a 20-minute interview because I didn't have a lot of information. They asked me some background of the owner, what I knew about him. So to wrap up the story was he wanted to go. His family was still in Italy and he was homesick and he wanted to go home. I guess he had tried to sell the pizzeria with no luck, unbeknownst to me, and wanted to go back to Italy. So he set the fire to collect the insurance money so he could go back to Italy, no strings attached. Was a very poor criminal. He left a gas can, which was recovered at the scene with his fingerprints all over it. And then someone else reported him like running out of the building, and then the fire starting 10, 20, 30 seconds later. So very not a smart criminal, and was apprehended. He did go on the run, but they apprehended him, and I'm not sure how much time he got, but he was convicted of insurance fraud, arson, all that stuff that goes along with doing that. And I was out my summer job. So
that's the moral of the story, is John was out his summer job.
And then listen, I get to say I was interviewed in an FBI building by 2 FBI agents. And they even told me, like, there's a chance, because I told them, like, I live here in the summer. I'm from Brooklyn originally, but now I reside in Syracuse. I come here in the summer. I'm gonna when school start and I got to go back to Syracuse. Is this gonna, like, what else is gonna be into? And they did tell me, like, you may, depending on how this court case goes, you may have to testify to that phone call in the courtroom. And I'm like, I'm 16, 17 years old, I think, and at the time, and like, what wound up happening was he pled guilty to get whatever. I don't know his sentence, but he got a lesser sentence so there was no trial. So I was off the hook as far as testifying. When I tell people that story, they're like, "Were you nervous?" And this, and I'm like, "No, I really wasn't. I was nervous because I was kind of a shy kid still in that stage, but I wasn't nervous because I knew I didn't do anything wrong." You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So
it's a good thing you listened and didn't go to work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he told me not to come in. I didn't know why.
Who are you to argue?
I didn't know why until the next day when my friend called me and said, "Isn't that this pizza place? That's where you work, right?" Yeah. Hey, it's a Inferno right now. I just went by. He didn't drive. He's like, I just went by it. It's up in flames. And I didn't know if he was pulling my leg, so I walked, and I got a couple blocks away, and you could see it. It was raging.
That's a classic story. I love that every time.
Crazy stuff, man.
What's crazy is we just flew through an hour there, my friend.
It is that. Do we got any more?
I got more. You want to do one more?
Well, pick a good one.
Pick a good, like I've been trying to pick bad ones.
No, I mean, but if we're only doing one more, go out. Let's go out. How about this one? Let's go out in a blaze of glory. How's that for innuendo?
All right, this one, because back of the baseball card, John or Danny? Let's see. Do you know that Jeff Conine, world-class racquetball player? I believe it's him. Back a card. Heavy J, back a card. Orlando St. John. Easy. John Candy from Splash. Great call. So back a baseball card, John Newman or Danny?
I was too large for racquetball. Is there like a weight limit? You got to get on the scale?
This is true. Wow. Danny's a booger eater. John was too large. Who was spelled T-O-O.
Why could I have been large and in charge on a racquetball?
Wow, look who shows up.
Yeah, does he have inside information now?
No, but it's past his bedtime.
He don't go to school's over for that kid.
It's still 10 o'clock.
Are you sure that's not Brett?
Maybe my wife is using his account. All right. Well, this is my son's account. If that, I don't know if that's a hint, good or a hint.
Who's his avatar? Who's his photo there? I can't see it.
It's soccer. It's the EAFC soccer. Oh, it is Connor.
Or is it?
Yeah, I think because I gave them a lot of.
Maybe he's playing the same game we are. Just literally. Is it
all right,
me?
he thinks it's the back of a card.
Not me.
All right. Well, I don't know if my son saying it's the back of a card gives it away.
Well, it's not me because I was too large to play racquetball. I was shunned. I wanted to play. I was like the Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer of racquetball. I wanted to play with everyone else, but they shunned me. They're like, "You're too large. You're too large. Go play baseball and hit against John Franco and give up homers to Jason Varitek. Get out of here, kid."
Welcome, son of a mensch, Connor. An official welcome. It is me. It's guys, twin boys, 13 years old.
I'm glad though. Thank you, Orlando, for considering me as a racquetball tournament winner. It wasn't me, but I'm glad you think enough of me.
Isn't racquetball just tennis for people that have bad cardio?
No, that's pickleball. And I play that now. So,
Danny sending Connor to bed made me laugh. Well, he should have been bed. Orlando, he should have been bed a while ago.
School's over with. All
right, he can stay up. Connor, you can stay up.
This is not on our graphic.
No.
This was one I should have thrown at you to put on there. I don't know if this
Mookie's assuming this is me. Yeah, it is me. It is me. Yes.
I never had a bedtime as a kid. Is that odd?
No, you were born at home. Everything after that's weird.
No, but I was raised by my grandparents, but I like, kids like 10 o'clock, it's time for bed. I didn't have that. But because I didn't have that, I went to bed at a normal time.
It's Friday night. I'm letting him stay up. Connor, you can stay up. Let's crowdsource his bedtime. Connor, you can go to bed on whatever time gets the most votes.
Oh, now you're in trouble, man.
I know. Guys, be good to me.
Now you're in trouble.
I know. Whatever time gets the most votes.
I never had a bedtime at growing up. And I think because of it, I didn't fight it. That's what happens is if you have a bed like 10 o'clock lights out, then you always like try to get another hour. Can I stay up to 11? You always push for more. But because I didn't have one, I got tired. I'm like, I don't have a bed. I'm going to bed. Reverse psychology, and it worked on me.
Here you go. Good card back for Newman. John never had a bedtime and escaped the Great People Fire of 1988. That's exactly.
And I think it was 88. That's
11:30. Let him rage.
Yeah, 11:30. He's calling his friends up, and you do have a rage.
Orlando says midnight. Orlando, you are lenient.
Now, so I didn't have a bedtime, but I probably went to bed between 10 and 11 p.m. without a bedtime.
How about Heavy J and Orlando being the midnight crew?
Well, that's me now.
Yeah.
I stay up later as an older guy than I did as a younger kid, I think.
Connor says 2 votes for midnight.
2 for midnight. That sounds like a good hard rock band name, 2 for midnight.
If you were into hard rock music, that would be Zane Smith. Just remember, Zane Smith likes hard rock music.
Man, he'd be a fan of
87 Top
he'd He'd be a fan of my new band, 2 for Midnight.
Guys, that was fun. Always nice to break it up a little bit. I know we want to get back to. We're going to do the National League of
favorite
the best
card of each team,
of each position or each team. Right?
Yeah,
Like all time best card of each team, or all time
favorite card.
Best favorite tomato. And we're going to get back to that. If not on the next show, the one after that, the next show, I will be in Chantilly. So we'll see how much research gets done. But I know we're planning on doing that one next.
A couple more. Hey, listen, man, I think we're 47 days away from the National today, right? What, like 3 or 4 more of these, 5 of these, and then we're in the National, man. It's crazy. Like, when do you start thinking about the National? Like, how close? I know some people say, man, the minute the one's over, I'm counting down to the next one. But realistically, when do you start really getting
for work or personally?
Either or.
I know that sounds weird. Like for work, there's logistics and stuff I have to deal with. Personally, like a week before, I'm like a kid. It's like getting
a week that close,
where I don't feel like it's logistics anymore. I feel like I'm really there. I feel like it's, otherwise I don't like the waiting.
I'm going to be honest with you. Under 50 days, once it gets under 50 days, which we are now,
yeah,
that's under 2 months, and so that's when I really do a couple of things. I really start thinking about it more and making plans and getting some of the logistics stuff done. Yeah. I've talked about this on my show. I really stopped buying cards, or at least cards of significant, spending a lot of money.
Cheers to that, Orlando.
Yeah. And so, so that this is the time when I'm starting to get, and obviously the closer you get to it, it's like a crescendo, right? You get more ramped up. So,
I'll let you read this one since I'm just taking shrapnel here.
John, after you win tennis and racquetball championships, the national doesn't do it. Well, if I ever win a pickleball championship, I could be on a Leaf card, maybe. Or no, Topps did. I think Topps did a pickleball set. But that's not going to happen. Yeah, who did I?
And Benny,
well, I'm doing my countdown where I use players in a jersey.
Mm-hmm.
42's coming. We're a few days away from 42 days away, so I don't know who I'm going to pick for that, but I'll figure it out when the time comes.
You're such a dork. I can't. That's the booger eater, people.
I didn't do that that I'm aware of, but
just kidding.
Everyone's probably done it one time.
That's not where we're finishing this show on.
Yeah, man. And here's the thing: when it gets under 50 days, it really starts to go. Like it's 50, then it's 40, then it's 30, and then it's under a month away. You're under 30 days. So that time really starts to sneak up on you. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of injuries. One thing I noticed with pickleball, all ages, like old people, young people, middle-aged people, which I think I like to think I qualify for that. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I still love softball more. My one softball buddy plays more pickleball than softball now. I'm not there.
I've never played pickleball.
It's fun. I love it. I don't want to say I love it. I like it a lot. Where like my friends love it, and they've kind of moved away from softball.
You're in the friend zone with pickleball.
Yeah, like I like to play, but if you give me a choice, like softball game or pickleball, I'm going to pick softball. Maybe because I'm having a really good year this year, but baseball is my first love as a sport. I played since I was 5. It was a sport I didn't want to play, and my grandfather was like the Todd Marinovich of T-ball father, and so, but here I am all these years later, still playing, with a home plate, 3 bases, and bats and gloves. So,
you know what?
I will say this though, Vintage Goat, there's slow pitch softball. I play in a regular league where any age, and I do play in the senior league where you got to be 50. Both very, very competitive and very good players still playing in both of those levels. So, yeah, you can embarrass yourself out there if you're not good.
No comment on that one. All right. Well, this flew a lot faster than I think you expected.
Oh, it did. It did. We flew right by.
You had your doubts.
See, we don't use. Here's the thing. I play in. Ruben's got a. I play in the senior league, but we don't use senior league bats. We use regular, right, like ASA and triple USA bats. So, I like that because that's what I've been using for many, many moons now. So I don't have to learn to use a new bat.
That's on new bat. We'll make those the final words of genius.
Yeah, man.
Ruben says there's lots of pop in those senior bats. Believe me, I think that's only if you call for Row or one of those commercials. I think that's how you get the pop back in your senior bats.
There's the blue pill to get a little pop.
I guess the senior pop
back. Senior bat.
Right, exactly. All right, fun episode. Remember Zane Smith.
Yeah, who knew we were going to talk about Zane Smith? That's what you get with us. You don't know.
You never know.
Zane Smith.
Zane Smith.
Charlie Huff. Floyd Bannister. Come on.
Say goodnight, John.
Good night, John.